Welcome back. Welcome back to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. I was on before and I lost connection. So I figured I'd jump back on and fix that. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, my name is Laura and I'm going to do a general message for the collective. Know that energy is fluid, roles could be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates. Also know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the readings. So I look at everything. We take more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play out as karmic themes to help you understand why everything's playing out the way that it is. Really important when we are dealing with a person that wears masks, create facades. It's not to manipulate the situation, but it's to understand that sometimes we are the main thing that is creating the dynamic in the relationship. So once we change the way that we deal with the person, which we can do that a lot of times when we're seeing things from the correct perception, which is a spiritual perspective. Understanding why the person does what they do allows you to put that energy kind of back onto them. Sometimes we still, even though we may know that the person's not good for us, we still, have this connection and we have a really hard time ending that connection and we don't know why. So, like I said, sometimes understanding the situation and really seeing that person for who they are, you'd be surprised how you can like cut the psychic cord. So many times people that are connected to past life karmic mates, they're like, I don't want to be connected to this person anymore. I don't want to like this person anymore. I don't even know why I like that person or why I can't let go. And it's because there's spiritual lessons that haven't been learned. So when you learn the spiritual lesson, well, again, you're seeing the situation from a different perception. There's many different realities that play out at one time. Your level of consciousness is created from all your past experiences. So if you went through traumatic experiences, well, then this is why, you keep living the same type of karmic themes that have kept you in a place of limitation and fear because you needed healing. We're a spiritual being having human experiences. The spiritual perspective really is a psychological and emotional one. We're only in physical form to learn and to manifest. So, understanding what we need to do psychologically and emotionally will help us transcend the limitations of our own mind. Really, this is all about transpersonal psychology, understanding the spiritual part of self and integrating those fragmented parts of self. Now, again, the word fragmented isn't in the Bible or anything like that. It's a psychological term. When a person detaches, disassociates, understand that's where there's gifts, that's also where there's going to be wounds. And so the spiritual lesson that plays out is always one where we're going to learn. That's why the universe brings us people and situations and experiences into our life, not to punish us. Again, so it's all about seeing things from new perceptions and then embodying that new consciousness so that we know what that feels like. The energetic imprint is we know that what it feels like to be betrayed. We know what it feels like to be with a person that, doesn't treat us right. And so there's always a fear. The survival mind will keep you in a place of fear until you actually heal it. It's just what we resist persists. It says it in every spiritual scripture. It's that whatever you're giving out, you're going to get back. Consciously or unconsciously, obviously, your wounds play out as experiences. So let's take a look and see, but understand that, like I said, I look at everything because everything's important, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks and the shadows to help you heal the effects of your trauma so you don't keep attracting the same thing into your life, so that you can recognize why you keep attracting what you attract into your life. All right. Now, the word of the video is always on the first card, second card that I pull out is the underlining energy that tells us why everyone does what they do. Really important when a person wears masks and create facades, illusions. All right, so the underlining energy is stubbornness. Already, I don't like it. You know, stubbornness and Promethean fire. So the thing is, it's like this person actually perceives you as being stubborn, where you're like, I'm not really being stubborn. I'm just not going to give in to like absolutely nothing. It's like, the my way or the highway perception. And again, when you say something, they're going to act all self righteous. So, but really, what's underneath there, what you're feeling is a lot of anger. Like this person doesn't like to be told what to do. They just have anger inside them because of their life, nothing to do with you. But it's very triggering. But I think it triggers you also to bring out anger. So anger is something very important for us to look at later, and that's because again, what is the energy that you have to heal, integrate? Again, like experience has happened to trigger us in the emotion, but that's where our healing is. So again, the anger would tell me that, well, it's a past life karmic mate that keeps triggering you. You keep triggering them. They think you're stubborn, where now it's like, I don't even want to be in a power struggle with this person. It's like they make it into that. It's kind of like how I feel like you feel. They're like, I don't play games. This person plays games. And it's again, they feel like they have all the time in the world. It's kind of like, yeah, we have this connection. So I'm gonna get back to you kind of like when I wanna get back to you. It's like I'm not gonna rush. I'm not gonna rush this. I can savor the time. And I think that that's triggering to you because it's like if you really have feelings for me, you're gonna show me. There's always this, I'm gonna like take a step back. And it's very triggering to you, almost like I need you to actually show me. And instead, what you do is you do the exact opposite, which is again the wound, where this person actually has a lot of passion for you, where where it would be like an all or nothing thing, where meaning in the bedroom all the time, nothing else, because this person like compartmentalizes. What you want is the emotional connection. What this person wants is the physical connection, and so their relationships tend to go 1,000 miles an hour. And then what happens is there's nothing there. Either they really like the person, they don't like the person at all. So this person is holding back from you, possibly because of the standard that you hold. But it's like if they could have things their way, that's the way that they would have it. But the thing is, as I said, there would be very little to no emotional connection because this person has too many blocks up. So this is what you see. You see like that they have a lot of passion for you, but they're not going to give you the time. And they won't give you the time because, hey, you want the emotional support. And they also felt like, well, I have all the time in the world to get back to you. It's like because whatever passion they have for you, they assume that you have for them too, which there's like this superior energy there where really you're like, no. It's almost like this person's so self righteous and cocky that you don't want to be with them. But understand that's just their ego protecting themselves. Again, we pulled it again, self righteous. So anything that you would say to this person, I feel like it, and they would deliberately do stuff that you should say something like they deliberately talk to other people, not give you time, act like they don't care. So, of course, you're going to say something, and then this person is going to say, don't tell me what to do. Why are you so controlling? Why are you when meanwhile they're deliberately doing things to make you say that. So again, and then so that they can feel like superior and self-righteous. Oh, look how much you like me. So they want to trigger you. They want to get you mad. They want to, again, with that's creating that passion that, 'cause you like me. And it's like, but then they don't have to have a real conversation. They don't have to really get intimate because they have an intimacy issue, which no one wants a relationship built on that. It's like they have too many boundaries, and so they expect you to give of your time, like, like because they don't really have a good sense of their self, is what I feel. It's like this person either sacrifices too much or expects you to sacrifice too much within the relationship, and everything is an illusion. It's like because they don't have a good sense of self. So part of them not allowing you to get close and being all self-righteous like that is is that armor. So the relationship is just always going to be turbulent. It's always going to be hard because they make it hard because emotionally they're not intelligent and they don't give you what you need. And so there, and this person knows it because, like I said, we pulled self-righteous twice. So it's not like it's the first time that they've heard that, is what I'm getting at. So they go into the relationship assuming that it's going to be that way, but we can say that it's purpose, but a lot of times people are doing it unconsciously. And now I'm pointing out these specific times because this is where we can actually change the dynamic of the relationship. Like that this person actually does have an epiphany of understanding who you are, but understand, like I said, this is when we can change the dynamic of the connection because, like I said, they thought that they were going to control the entire dynamic of it and be all superior and self righteous. And if they really have feelings for you and you don't give them anything, well, it's going to bring out what they need and what they truly want. And so that epiphany is, again, looking at themselves. Outdated ways of looking at things, like, oh, love doesn't really exist. I can't really have love. Like, I'm being all self righteous, but I have feelings for this person, and this person isn't giving me anything. What, like, it's defeating the purpose. The purpose, this person wants you to like chase after them. They don't want you to do the exact opposite. They're creating the exact opposite because they don't want that to happen. And the reason why I say that is because they hide behind like like they're always wearing a poker face. They hide behind their intentions. They always have different motives. It's like this person doesn't allow themselves to get close. They just don't. It's like they had too many outdated ways of looking at relationships and due to the past relationship. So until that person actually heals, they're just going to keep bringing in like their baggage into the relationship, and everything that you say and everything that you do is going to be a trigger for that person, which is why things keep playing out the way that they do. It's like you think that you're always trying to get over. You're always going to try and get over, and kind of they are because they never 100% give in the relationship. They always have one foot out the door, and so again, that's why they seem like they have like hidden motives where it's like, no, this person has feelings, but they have blockages where they don't like who they are. They create illusions and are only going to be able to let you get in so close to them. They hear everything through the wound. They're not really hearing things through the present moment. And they keep creating the same type of experiences. And again, we pulled it again like self-righteous. So when we see this card so many times, it's like with so many different decks. By the way, that card doesn't even belong in this deck. It's like, well, this person is just that's my way of the highway. It's where you over time you're like, oh, it's too difficult to be in a connection with this person. So understand how they feel. It's too many problems. in a relationship where relationships, they're supposed to have like problems, but not these type of problems. This person makes too many problems. And so the relationship itself, with them having a connection to you, makes them have to step into a better version of themselves, which, hey, that's work. And it's a hard climb. It's too many issues. And again, the struggle is just the hard conversations that this person would have to do in order to create the intimacy, the healing that they need. And but it's almost like, it's too difficult for them, it's too scary for them. So, and that this connection is that will bring it out in this person, but they don't want it. That's why they run from it. It's like, but they want the passion, they want the chemistry, they want that. They just don't want the responsibility, which only means that this person, like, again, the relationship needs healing. And it's all about learning that balance, because it's you stepping into your true authentic energy and saying, this is what I'll tolerate. And then, this person also seeing you emotionally cut off, ESP through the heart and mind, that soul mate connection. That person can feel when you're around, they can feel when you care, they can feel when you're not there. It's a divine union. So, but it's, again, what is a divine union for? Well, again, to do the hard work, to do the healing. They don't, that's a part of them that they've never had to do it before. They don't want to do it. They never didn't even know what it existed. Maybe you didn't. And they didn't have strong roots. This is what creates strong roots, so that something can actually grow. This, again, the healing, the foundation of who they are. They had so much baggage and wounds. So again, pulling weeds of resentment, and that only happens from having the difficult conversations that, like, you're going to make this person do, because there are spiritual blocks. There's spiritual blocks, and you might say, well, I also have spiritual blocks, and spirit says yes. So it's not about letting this person control you. It's about, again, like tapping into your own self, and saying, what is it that I need? And having open dialogue, conversation. Sometimes we get a person that triggers us, and it's so hard because we watched maybe our mother and our father have a really difficult codependent relationship where they never got along, and that imprinted. So we were taught not to trust. Or maybe we just had that parent teach us, or a sibling, someone close to us at a young age, affected that trust again. And trust happens from trusting ourselves, where spirit says, you're giving so much power to that person. It's, again, they're wounded. Spirit says you have to, again, trust yourself. It's, again, that, and really not allow this person to consume you, because, again, this relationship can be like that, where there's a fine line between love and hate. And so it's Spirit saying, it's like, it's more about letting yourself have maybe the relationship, but on your terms. And that might be, hey, I'm going to allow you to be my friend, but I also realize, you're wounded, you're broken, but I can love you from a distance, from a whatever, and see how that person, people can heal. It's like love makes people do those things. This person only knows how to be in one type of connection, is why I'm saying it's up to you. But you'd have to have boundaries, because, like I said, this person, you know, they have to learn how to communicate. Otherwise, you'll never be able to lay boundaries. It'll always wind up being whatever this person wants it to be. And what they want it to be is you consume with them because they're insecure. And that's not, it's like, that's not a relationship. It's a one-sided relationship. Fear, obligation, guilt, and that's what it would be, either like fear, obligation, or guilt, like makes them stay, or would make you stay, the unclear and leaving, and of leaving the situation. So if you got into a connection with them, it would be like that because that's who they are, and it's because they're spiritually blocked. So whatever relationship that they are creating, because there's not strong roots, but that's what they're, needs to happen for this connection to actually work, is they would just stay in a place of believing that they can't have it, but I do feel that they don't want to stay in that fog, that this person, I also feel like, has a lot of pride. And so part of them wants to be like dominant, but because they're not strong within themselves, this is where we can really see a second chakra in balance, where the person overcompensates. People either overcompensate or undercompensate with that spiritual center. And that spiritual center is all about how a person perceives themselves. So what happens is they haven't created good experiences, and they have a lot of anger that underneath. It's again because of how they see themselves. People don't change unless, you know, they're put in a situation to change. So let's see what this person is going to do. Because now we know all the spiritual issues with this person and why. But at the end of the day, we want to know, what is this person going to do? I'm sending you loving energy. Can you feel it? So I feel like this person may not be saying that, but I think that they're thinking a lot about you. Emotionally, they feel connected to you. That's one thing that they've seen, and they hope, because they're insecure. What we see is that they're not emotionally uh, intelligent, where they feel confident enough to reach out to you because of all that spiritual baggage that they have. Because again, what the spiritual lesson, everything goes back to, I'm ashamed of how I treated you. Why? Because this person has shame. So they recreate the same exact experience over and over and over again. So they don't really believe that they can have love. So it's like, now it's like, I have feelings for you, but I already sabotaged the connection. So again, what did I say? They're prideful. They have to surrender their ego, because that's how they, that they've reached a place of unconditional love, because this person has big ego, but not because they want to be a mean person, but because we see that they're wounded from all that we said earlier. You know, I'm afraid of losing you. So again, people don't change unless they're uncomfortable. It has to be uncomfortable. I wish I could give you more. So this person, there's a way thinks, they tend to think, that people stay by buying, by giving. If I took you out to dinner every night and I took you here and I bought you this, like almost like they're not enough without that. And I feel like because people have always used them for that. And also they've led with that. People that are not strong with who they are lead with that. Mental health. So this person might be a little bit bipolar. They might be a little bit, like have like very high highs, low lows, and they're battling inner demons. So this person is like, though they would like to be with you, it's like what I see is it's like, I want to be with you, but I'm battling inner demons, and those inner demons are affecting the way that I think, and so this person like really needs to do healing. They just, what, it's like, even though that they can't stand the thought of you being with someone else, they don't really think that they can fix things between you and them. And that's because they're not really trying. And it's like there's a part of this person that, like I said, They want things on their terms. Look, I'm ashamed of how I treated you, and I'm afraid of losing you. So it's like I'm not really gonna do what I need to do to be in this connection, because there's something wrong with them. Literally. Like I feel like they're so terrified. I shouldn't say that there, but it's like they're so terrified of letting you into their life where they're gonna fall for you, that I don't see that this person like actually changing at all. It's like they don't, again, they're still hiding behind their ego, almost like, well, I have feelings for you. I would like for you to fall for me, but I don't really see them changing. And that's the thing, even though they are afraid of losing you. And I think that part of this person is so detached from the way that they feel that until after it happens, that's when they're going to feel it. And I say that because we pulled so many times that they had blockages, and they were detached and disassociated from themselves. So what could they feel? So it's more about, why did you attract this person into your life? You're a mirror of what comes into your life, right? I mean, if things didn't work out, why wouldn't things work out? Why would the universe bring you this person? What was the whole point? Because there's always a reason. We either learn or we, evolve with it. We never lose. And we can feel like, no, I was with that person made me like lose a lot, or make me feel as if I lost a lot. Where Spirit says gifts, card number 1, card number 2, time and attention. Now, these are the inner child wounds if you're new to the channel. And we always have to say, why did I attract that person into my life? It's like, if I'm a mirror of what comes into my life. That person wound up being an asshole. I'm not an asshole. Why would that? Or they were mean, or they were harsh, or they were, again, created pain inside of me, which now I have spiritual blocks due to that experience you feel around relationship, outdoors in nature, guidance, naive, and play. So again, when we look at the inner child, we'll see where your fragmented is, like what was there, what's where the shadow is. Sometimes it's gifts. It's not all the time is it spiritual blockages, like from being like with that person, you would have wasted a lot of time. Again, being in a one-sided relationship, not getting anything back is obviously a waste of time. So again, giving more time to yourself, and then playing, where Spirit's saying, like, when you become very grounded, you become more connected to the earth, you become more connected to your physical body, the physical elements of the physical world, that you actually get guidance from being in the higher self. So it's almost like you were able to go back to childhood when you were like a child, and when you were like naive like a child, and that's where you discovered your gifts. And the gifts are those psychic elements that allowed you to create, allowed you to really, transcend the limitations of this connection. Because it's, again, finding yourself, creating yourself. This person is fragmented. It's like they would have used your energy for what they could possibly use it for, is what I see here. It's like, so in integrating the spiritual lesson, we can say, well, what am I supposed to do to transmute that negative energy, right? It's like, because once you go through an experience it, and see a different perception of it, well, then you're able to actually, do something different. A lot of times we're unconscious of how we are keeping ourselves blocked in really just a limited thought. That person represented a limiting thought if came in and they didn't give you enough and didn't treat you enough. It's really they represent something that's inside of you, which you're not aware of. So once we're aware of it, how are you going to transmute that negative energy? And spirit saying, well, to learn to be vulnerable, being open to healing your faults is true strength. Embrace your authenticity. And I think learning to be vulnerable is about finding yourself, okay? Going out and finding yourself. If you're still coming from that place of I'm not safe where I'm closed off, and you're not realizing it. So you attract people into your life that also are there, have their heart blocked off, shut off. So how can you learn how to be vulnerable? Learning how to be vulnerable really is to be true to yourself, to which means find yourself, love yourself, invest yourself, and then create yourself. Once you do those things, that's how you can be vulnerable. You're not vulnerable just with any random person. You can't just be vulnerable if you got hurt before. And I say this because it's all about healing those integrated parts of yourself, like flow with grace. It's like, understand it's about being able to navigate difficult situations, like to be able to go with the flow of life, to realize that no one can hurt you, no one can stop you. Being vulnerable requires us, again, to be open. How can we be open? How can we be open when we're trying to control? We can't. So, Spirit's saying it's like it's not about controlling, it's about like being open to what's happening without being affected by it. And you can do that if you're, again, whole within yourself. And that means, again, really utilizing your gifts, continuing to create yourself. Really, again, we're not our trauma. This is about you not coming from your trauma, but more or less coming from who you are today, not the wounds of the past. Again, to integrate all facets of yourself. This relationship, that's all that it was. It was to help you integrate a fragmented part of yourself. It's like we might say, no, the person was a soulmate. It's again, they were a soulmate because everybody that comes into our life that teaches us is a soulmate. It's again, but were they ready to evolve? Were they ready to step into the best version of themselves, which is a twin flame level? No, this person's not ready. They're past life karmic mates. Past life karmic mates teach us about ourselves, teach us about what we need to heal. There's a lot of passion. And usually people do fall head over heels and passion. The relationship then is about shallow. And if that happens, you get more and more fragmentation from being with the person that pretends to be someone that they're not, that's shallow. And you say, why did I attract someone like that? Well, Spirit's saying because you needed to integrate these aspects of yourself, where you would then again demand more for yourself and understand it's all about everything helping you to success so that you can grow and thrive in the universe, to discover the purity of your heart and the higher wisdom that guides you towards victory, to direct your thoughts towards clarity and nature, wisdom, love, and goodness within you, and that you are free now and you can succeed in your life. That's what this is about. This is what the story is about. Like you can't have success if you have spiritual blockages where again there's a sense of again you're not being able to have that love due to again past that childhood trauma. I always call it past life trauma, but understand if it's childhood trauma, it is past life trauma because you're coming in to this lifetime with the wounds of the past. And that means, again, past life. Whether that's your childhood or whether that's a whole other time and dimension all in itself. We're living one reality at all times. And that's, again, what's the irony. Spiritual realm, there is no time, there just is. So I'm going to leave that there. You let me know how you resonated, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.